remember, anybody that has a question throughout the entire process, feel free. I'm not hung up on being interrupted. What I'm gonna go over tonight is real estate investing. I believe that there are 4 primary areas to make money in real estate investing, and here they are. Those 4 areas: developing, rehabbing, landlording, and wholesale. Now, developing is actually when you take a piece of land that's raw land and then you go ahead and instruct and put on a strip mall, a mall, apartment building, whatever you desire that you think is going to make you money, gas station, whatever. Rehabbing, of course, is taking an existing structure that needs some help, fixing it up, and bringing it back to life, and you sell it for a retail price. Hopefully when you buy that structure, you buy it at a wholesale price. Landlording, of course, is having units and selling or renting those, leasing those units for a monthly, above and beyond what your mortgage payment is for those houses. Wholesaling is what we do and what I'm going to teach you tonight. And wholesaling is simply buying, in most cases, and how I teach it, in most cases, a distressed property from a seller, and then turning around and selling that structure to a landlord, rehabber, or developer. So what we do is we supply inventory to the other 3 industries within this industry: landlords, rehabbers, and developers. And as I said earlier, I never go to a bank to get the money to buy my wholesale fees. I never go to my safe to get the money to buy my wholesale fees. I never go to under my mattress, and I still stash cash under my mattress to buy my wholesale pieces. I don't do anything. I don't use anybody else's money. I'm not OPM. I'm not doing any of that. All I'm simply doing is putting the house under contract for 60 banking days. And then I go sell that contract to landlords, rehabbers, and developers. That's all I'm doing. I'm assigning contracts, selling contracts. Different people around the country that I meet and I've taught, they call it different things. So all I do is assign. Very simple, very easy. I don't use my own money. I don't do any of that. That's all I do. Yes, sir. You said who are the other 3 people? Developing is taking raw land and getting a zone for it. Getting going to the zoning board and getting a zone, what it can be, putting either a gas, putting anything, building, gas station, warehouse, I mean just anything that you can get your highest and best use. Okay, now, that's it. So I want to know from anybody in the room, did I miss anything? Because it's that simple. That's what I do. That's exactly what wholesaling is. And I know most people in the room, other than our current students, have heard of that. Some people have. Yolanda, what is it, Yolanda? Yeah, but you've heard of it. Now, this I digress here. Is anybody in the room a current investor? Yolanda?
I've done like stuff in family properties.
Yeah, switch them out. You can zoom in on him.
So you're one in the family that everybody calls and says, Yolanda knows. Okay, cool. Anybody in the room in a realtor? How long you been a realtor? Good. Market's a little different now. Yeah. Lola actually wants us to, and a couple of realtors, I'm a realtor, but my license has been on the shelf. Actually, I just got it just so I can see if I can get it. And Lola wants to actually start talking to realtors, because realtors have been signing up, but they've been finding us in the book and stuff like that. So she's thinking about taking a massive approach to realtors. But that's my fiance, that's Lola Thompson, that's the boss. And she makes everything happen. And she's going to tell everybody the pricing and everything at the end. Okay, so, Reginald, you got development, you got that? Everybody got what wholesaling specifically is? Just simply going to the seller, negotiating, taking that contract that we negotiated and wrote out in the contract. We use a 2-page contract, 1-page addendum. That's it. None of this being 29 pages for the contract. That's all. We do a 2-page contract, sanctioned by our attorney, already good. All of our students use it, and that's the deal. So we get the contract signed, then we go sell the contract, assign the contract to landlords, rehabbers, developers. That's it. I use a $1 earnest money deposit, $1 earnest money deposit to tie up the contract. That's all I put out of my pocket. And let me tell you what I've learned. Every single time, you've heard me say this before, right? Every time that I use above and beyond $1, I get it. Just gonna do something for Melanie's here, so keep it clean. So every single time that I use anything above $1 as an earnest money deposit to tie up the property, I get burned. And what it constitutes is lack of motivation. So I don't do that. So what properties and who will let you tie up a property for $1? Typically these properties are motivated sellers, as I stated. You want to make sure that whom you're dealing with is a motivated seller. You want to stick there. Wholesaling works best when it's a distressed property. Best. I've done it with pretty houses. So you can do it with pretty houses. Works with ugly houses. Very nice with ugly houses. And what's that? Vacant, abandoned, holes in the floor, holes in the roof type of properties. Properties that nobody's living in and hasn't lived in for a long time. Also, people that are going through divorce. That's usually when I get my pretty houses. People that bought something real fly, real nice, but now it's a struggle to pay. And because it's a struggle to pay, that puts a struggle on the relationship. So hence a divorce, hence good deals for motivated people. Illness in the family, job loss. Properties with violations. As I told you guys, I started out in this business as a loan officer, making a very, very, very good income. I went to one of the investment clubs in the area. As I said, there are 8 total, 4 in Baltimore, 4 here. 90% of our students start in Baltimore City. We love Baltimore. Baltimore is what we consider low-lying fruit. No matter what's going on in the overall market out here, Baltimore is still struggling to get their revitalization together, right? Am I David, right? David, right? That they've been trying to get for over 50 years. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but in Baltimore City, it's not that hard to find boarded up, vacant, abandoned property. Anybody know that? Very easy. And I had no clue in really what to do, even from all the people parading across the stage and all the senseless nonsense programs that I had purchased. I could not figure out, plugging through the holes of what they were trying to say, because really everybody's trying to get you to their big one, right? What to do. And when I read this book, the lights went off. And the number one thing they told me to do that I got to get to my deal was the 3 Ps. And the 3 Ps is marketing. And that is signs on poles, ad in the newspaper, and an ad in the penny saver. And that ad, or that verbiage on either 3 of those is we buy houses. Now, has anybody in the room ever seen signs on the poles that say we buy houses? Well, let me tell you this. If you've seen a sign in your area that says we buy houses, let me tell you, somebody or a lot of people are making money right there smack in your area. That's a fact. They're not kind of making money. They're not seeming to be making money. They're not testing to see if they can make money. If you see the signs consistently, They are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, making money in your neighborhood. So, I hope you wrote that down, because that could be a way for you, because I'm going to give you a whole system to make money. I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a strategy. So, doing that, let me tell you, I'll tell you the story of my very first deal. Some of you heard this before? No. Someone get out. Oh, you came late that time. Oh, man. So when I got to that section of marketing, because every business runs on marketing. I don't care what you do, and you know UPS runs on marketing. Mostly everybody in the room, there's something about their business that runs on marketing. People don't know that you do what you do, then ain't nothing gonna happen. So marketing, those 3 P's. We buy houses on the signs. This is what I did. I spent $1,300 that first month after learning this. And in the Penny Saver, and then in the Washington Post. And I got my call. I was getting a bunch, but I finally got the one that I could talk to the lady that would let me fumble and fumble through the process. And this is my mentor. So I'm on the phone with her, and throughout one of the other programs, there was a sheet that I use as a checklist. So I'm asking her all the questions, and I get through to make an appointment. She says, come on out. I go out. Now, when I was on the phone with her, I detected some hostility. But I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe it was me, but I couldn't tell. When I got to the house, 2 minutes in to my little asking her questions and the little interviewing process, I can tell what it was. And when I got to the house, first thing that I noticed was silver duct tape on the floor, everywhere as the floorboard. So no carpet, no linoleum. Did I say that right?
No, but it's okay. They know.
Silver duct tape everywhere. Perfectly laid. Upstairs, downstairs, kitchen, back room, little deck, front porch, silver duct tape. Even where the duct tape was worn out, they put brand new silver duct tape, cut it in, perfectly laid. Every single light fixture in the house was on 2x4. The tub was away from the brick wall because it was all exposed, but not that pretty shellac brick. It was just the brick. Tub away from the wall. Vice grips, you say, right? Used for hot and cold. The windows were not encased, completely packed. You can see straight through the outdoors, through all the windows. Now there's a whole bunch more about this house, but I don't want to tell you. It was only an 800 square foot house. No basement. I started this business in Fairfax, Virginia, but my very first deal came from Trinidad, Washington, D.C. So now I know the hostility of what I heard over the phone and where it was coming from. The lady has 2 babies floating all around us, mommy, 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 and she got one on the way. Now this lady's husband bought this house 10 years hence with the idea that he was going to rehab it. So let me tell you, there's a lot of that going on right now. There's a lot of people that have rehabbed the projects and completed it, and they can't get rid of it. Saying that, yeah, they was going to, oh, they were happy when we did 9 months ago, 10 months ago, and we're going to make $100,000, and they can't even get 10 grand out of it. But anyway, so I do everything that I do. I'm nervous, I'm scared, and I don't know really what's going on and what I'm saying, but I know that she's leading me around, and I'm saying yes, and I'm checking everything off. So I got me a little checklist. It's completed. Now, at the end of that, I'm supposed to tell the lady, of course, well, I'm ready to do a deal, and I got all your answers, because you know what we are problem solvers. So remember that that's who you are. You are a problem solver for these folks. But I don't got it together, because I only had read the first 3/4 of the book. And I don't got all the answers, because I'm supposed to do what, David? Close, right? supposed to say, ma'am, now I can do this and that, but I don't have it. So I didn't do it because I'm scared, nervous, right? So I leave. And I tell them, man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to you, right? And get you, you know, my supervisor. Because, you know, the whole point of the we buy is that we is me and a whole bunch of people. That's only psychology. So this is where it gets a little funny and a little tricky. So I call her the next day. And I say, ma'am, this is the only thing the supervisor said that we can do. We can simply take over your payments. You give me your deed, I'll make your payments for you, and you can go away, and I'm going to give you $1 in earnest. And then in the book it says to what? Shut up, because you just made your pitch. And I did. Shut up. And it seemed like forever before she made an answer. And when she answered, it went a little something like this. Is that what you can do? David, tell me what was I supposed to say?
Yes. Yes.
Leo.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I said, when she said, is that something that you can do? I was supposed to say, absolutely. And I said, I don't know. So you want to know? Anybody can do this business, okay? I don't know, ma'am. She says, well, who you need to call, your supervisor, find out if that's what you really can do, and let me know. So I said, okay, ma'am, I get off the phone. I'll call you back. I'll talk to my supervisor. I did that. I played around 15 minutes. I called her back and said, absolutely, something we can do. And she said, hurry up on over here with your contracts, because I'm ready to sign. I want to be out of here in 30 days. So I did. Went over there, signed the contract. I didn't know how to sign a contract, so what I did was I brought my friend that, well, actually not my friend, but I took a realtor over with me to fill out the contract to help. I had actually gotten a contract from one of the books and blew it up on my HP because I didn't have a contract. So we go over there, we fill out everything. The realtor, because she's used to 29 pages, she doesn't know how to fill out 2 pages, and there was no 1 page of them. So she keeps asking me, what do I do? So I just tell her to put NA, or put TBN, right? To be determined. I just put anything. Let's give this lady her 4 quarters, and let's get out of here. All right? Let's just go. So we did. We got out of there. Now the lawyer, after we took, because you take your stuff to the lawyer, the title company, do your title work, I had to actually go to him. He had to send me back to the lady 2 more times to redo the paperwork. And guess what? She never said, not even once, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? What's going on here? She never even questioned it. I made $6,700 out of that deal, and I had to split it with the realtor that did absolutely nothing. That's my sister. So I didn't want to tell you that at the beginning. Oh, I should have said that one. So anyway, so I had to split it. So $6,700. I immediately took the contract when I had it to where? The investment clubs, right? I took it to the one where I came from, and I took it there and I sold it as a wholesale fee. Put up $1. I got $6,700 in less than 30 days. The deal worked. Took me another month to do my second deal. But here's the lesson in the first deal. The main lesson is, as I stated already, stay with motivated folks. Make sure you're dealing with people that are motivated. And what was her motivation? I mean, she really, and this is what I'll tell you. People will tell you, if you sit down and you listen, and part of our system, our presentation, the way we built our system is we teach you what we call the run process. And then the R in run is building rapport. listening to the story. The fact that I went over there and I listened to the lady and I just checked and I didn't talk because I didn't know what to say. So I was just doing a lot of just simple questions, how about this? And she answered and she could talk and talk and talk. See, people like that. So in doing that, that's building rapport. Okay, so remember that. Stay with the motivated people. Find out what their motivation is. And when you find out what their motivation is, use that same motivation in order to get you in. And that's what I did without even knowing it. So let me give you the website to this book, which is Results Now. ResultsNow.com. Results with an S. Okay? Sure. Please go.
How did you come up with it was a $67 assignment, $6,700 assignment fee? And the other one was when you went to the investment club. What did you have and how did you approach other investors? Now you had a deal. What did you do with it?
Good question. The first one is that I don't do it. I'm gonna give you guys a formula tonight so that you know how to determine a good deal, or if a deal you should pursue or not. I'm gonna give you that. And I won't do any deal unless I'm thinking that I'm gonna make 10 grand, and that's a part of the formula. So that's one. I started out at 10, we winded up at 6,700, and bam. And a part of negotiation is, people always posture. I come from the car business, so we know that you guys in the car business that you're trying to get to try us, so to speak. So my deal was simply just $10,000. He said, "How about 5?" And I said, "No, how about 8?" Because everything that we do here, we disclose. There's nothing that I do that the seller doesn't know and the buyer doesn't know. I'm not hiding anything. I'm letting them know exactly what I do. So please get that out of your mind too, that you don't want the seller to know that you're going to put some money on top and then you want to sell it to a new buyer. It's okay. We on the phone, in the first 2 minutes we're on the phone, I'm letting people know exactly who I am and exactly what I'm going to do. I'm an investor. I'm not going to live in a house. I'm going to sell it immediately. I'm just simply going to put it under contract and I'm going to get rid of it within 60 business days. So what the second question was?
The second question was, what did you do?
Oh, when I take it to the investment club, in those days and in some investment clubs now, they still allow you to announce your deal in front of the room. Right. So the ones that don't, just make sure you put it on a flyer. Right? Or a piece of paper. Just hand it out to everybody in the room.
Make sure you're talking to people. Typically we go out and we act as secret agents. We go over the corner watching it. Or like we covert. But if you're trying to sell something, you gotta tell people what you're trying to sell. So as you're walking around the room or mingling, make sure you got cards that you can give out.
Absolutely.
And make sure you tell people what you do. And make friends. They're doing the same thing you are. And a lot of times they, believe it or not, you go to those places and you think, God, everybody knows something, I don't know nothing. And typically that's not the truth. Matter of fact, you let them find it out, they know less than you do. So, so it's okay to talk and tell people what you do, tell them what you have. If they don't want to purchase, they may know somebody else. And they may be hooked up with another investor who wants to purchase. A lot of them, not a lot, but a few of them do allow you to come into the room and what do they call it?
Pitching.
Pitching.
In the room?
Quick pitch.
Quick pitch.
That's what they call it, quick pitch, when you go up and people get a couple of minutes to tell about their deal, get their telephone number, and then, if they're interested, they'll come and follow you around and ask you.
Absolutely. So, okay, so just so we can keep up, we know that we're going to use $1 for earnest money deposit. In order to get the people to call us, what are we going to do? The 3 P's, right? The polls, the signs, the polls, the penny saver, and the post. We buy houses and a telephone number. They call for what I want you to do until you get comfortable. All I want you to do is ask the typical questions. And what are they? How many beds? How many baths? For Baltimore, how's the roof? Can you stand up on in the basement?
Is there actually still a house?
Is the house still there? You always want to ask in Baltimore City. You always want to ask. right? You want to ask, is, you said right.
It's obvious, man. I mean, because sometimes, you know, you run into people who haven't even been to the
That's
property
right.
in 10, 15 years. And with all the revitalization
Right.
going on out there, they may have been there last year and the house ain't there.
That's exactly right. So you want to ask them, when's the last time they seen the house?
And the answer that you'll get on knock your socks off.
Knock your socks off. So look, and if you don't have the cash right now to put the ads in the paper and the post and the polls and all kinds of stuff, polls is easy because you can just get the signs. And I can give them a number to get the sign guy. All right, that's cool, right? Yeah. If you want to get signs, because they're cheap, you can get the signs inexpensively. You can call B.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hurry up before Eric hears me.
Why?
You already know why.
Okay. Yeah, go to the sign guy. His name is Curry, and his telephone number is 410-242-8027. 8027. 8027. 410-242-8027. Now, even less expensive than that is driving the neighborhood. All right? So if you want to know how to find the vacant, abandoned properties in Baltimore City, simply drive up to Baltimore, get off Martin Luther King Avenue, go up a few blocks, and then go left or right. It's better to go left, and get lost. And the first vacant, abandoned property you see, get the address. And the address, you want to take it to sdat.org. Sam, David, Apple, Tom. .org. That's it, right? All right. And you take it there, and you go into the property, and you put in the address, and it will give you the owner's real home address. Sometimes even a telephone number. Okay? Now here, keep following the strategy, right? So the strategy is when you call or you send a letter, just simply, don't get fancy, just say, I want to buy the house. All right? Don't get fancy. That's all you need to say. And then put a telephone number. My suggestion is to put it on a phone that you're not going to answer. You can get a track phone these days for $10. Okay? This is the real deal. This is the stuff. The students that I give the students, they're paid. All right? And then let it go right into a voicemail system. Don't answer. Posture yourself. Make sure you get yourself together. So when you call back, you get yourself together. And what you want to do is ask those questions. Build rapport, chit chat. If they say something about Bobby or Debbie or something like that, ask, oh, what did Debbie do? Does she live there? Oh, how long? Really? Was your family house for how long? Oh my goodness, 45 years? 45 years. God, at least 2 generations, all 3. And then keep just talking, right? Don't be so anxious to jump into the deal. I promise you, I spend, even with the students now, half an hour with them, just letting the people just pour it all out. And the more I let them pour it all out, just asking questions and letting them expand on that, the better the deal is, the less expensive. And so then then you want to do the phrase that pays. Here it is. I'm going to write this down. This will work for you even at Nordstrom. Okay, remember, I don't care what you do, you cannot just simply get on the phone and ask them this question. You got to do it with a lot of rapport building. And that is, if I pay all cash and close quickly, what's the least you will accept for this property? If I pay all cash, close quickly, what's the least you would accept? Now you can ask, we got students in the room, mentees in the room, little mentees in the room too. You can ask them if that is not exactly our most used phrase that makes us hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It works like a charm. And as I said, it works at Nordstrom's. I got people that have come up to me and said, it works. at the furniture store. It works everywhere. If I pay all cash, now, I want you to know, for me, I studied this phrase backwards and forwards, up and down. I mean, it's in the bathroom. It's on the refrigerator. For a long time, I studied it until there was no end. To a point where if I fall asleep, right now, tell me, if I fall asleep, and when Lola would poke me and say, wake up, the first thing I say is, if I pay all cash and close quickly, because that's how it's in me. So I'm saying it to you, that's all cute, but I want you to learn it, because it will work with you.
And the deal is, you want to say it like that. A lot of times we get students on the telephone and people want to make it, you know, just say how much you want, how much, it's designed, well, he's going to give you the second half, but it's set up that way for a purpose.
That's right.
You know, you don't say, well, how much you want for your house. You don't really want to know how much they want for your house,
Right.
for their house, right? You want to know, if I pay all cash and I close quickly, what's the least you will accept?
Right. So, and then learning it that way, when you're in the bathroom in the morning, and you're starting your day, and you're studying it, right? Because most people are not doing anything, they're reading junk anyway. So you study it and you get it, because then you can flow with it different ways. See, I was telling somebody on the phone, I believe it was Henry, he's new, I just got him from the orientation, and he was like, wow, you really know, but it's not. It's just that I just practice. No sense in me being in this game and I'm doing it haphazardly. I want to be good. And I'm telling you, so it works. The other half of this phrase that pays is better than the first part. And that is simply, whatever they say, I don't care what they say. I don't care even if you know that the pricing in that area, that whatever price they quoted you is substantial. You say, is that the best you can do?
The only exception to that is 0.
Right. Yeah, I don't want nothing for it.
I don't want nothing for it, just take it from me.
Is that the best you can do? No, you don't do that. So if I pay all cash and close quickly, if I pay all cash and close quickly, if I close quickly, pay all cash, you know, if you say it up, if I pay all cash and close quickly, you know, you want to use it appropriately, but you always want to use it with energy. If I pay all cash and close quickly, what's the least you would accept? Is that the best you can do? Or is that the best you can do? Or is that really the best you So to study it, then there's never a flaw in how you come back with it, because you studied it, you know it. You know what I'm saying? If we do our jobs, like I know you do your job, you do your job, right? You good at it, right? So why not be good at the very thing that's going to take you out of that job, or take your kids and put them in the best colleges, or put them in the best neighborhood? Why not study it so you know it, like, you know, because your life does depend on it. Excuse me. Sometimes I get it. So here's the formula. That's okay. So we on phase 1 of this. I'm gonna give you a strategy so you can do a deal. I want you to do a deal. All right. Whether you get with us, and I want you to get with us if you think that we can help you. But if you can't, for whatever reason, I want you to do a deal. The formula I'm going to give you is called MAO. M-A-O. It stands for Maximum Allowable Offer. Maximum Allowable Offer. This formula is used throughout the country. It works everywhere. It works everywhere for my students, and it works everywhere nationally for other investors. I didn't make it up. Okay? It was in existence 15 years before I got in the business, and I told you I've been in the business 8 years. The formula is called MAO. And this is the way it goes. To do the formula, you need to have what they call market value. Market value in the industry, as we call it, is called ARV, after repair value. And after repair value simply is what houses are selling for in the area, also called comparables. right? Comps, market value, ARV, after repair value, all the same thing. So you need to know that to execute the formula. So here we go. The formula is 30% below market, or 30% below ARV, 30% below the area comps, minus your repair values. Minus your repair values. Minus. So whatever the house needs in order to fix it up to be at the area comps, or what's selling fixed up nice and pretty, as we say, students, minus those repairs. Minus your decided wholesale fee. Minus what you're going to get paid. Minus what you're going to be paid. Remember, we're not doing this for free. Right, Ms. Sylvia? That's right. You got to get paid. That number equals male. That number. So, 30% below market, minus repairs, minus your decided wholesale fee, equals male. And the way I teach the program, the way our system goes, never, ever, ever, ever pay male. Never pay male. So if you want to start your negotiations, and I don't really want to call them negotiations, you want to start your conversation about the price of the house if you're forced to make an offer. It's only when you have to, when you're forced to make an offer. But either way, you got to know this number so you know not to go no further than. But if you're forced to make an offer, then start low. Okay. Students will tell you in the room, if they're on the phone with me, typically I'm going to start somewhere around 10. And if I'm flowing with the person on the phone, I might start at 5. There was a time when we bought a house in a hot area in Baltimore that was selling for the 190s, and we picked it up for $5 grand, $3 grand? $3,000 because instinct told me shoot for low. So here, this is a lesson that you need to know, and if please, this one you want to write down. Get in the habit and be prepared to make ridiculous offers. Get in the habit of making ridiculous offers. You must. So, that's right, when you make the offer, the person wants to scream at you. You crazy, that's my house, that, right? So what? They can't do nothing to you. Trust me, I've made some offers that are, right Melanie? We made some offers where people have made some serious gestures. But if you don't get in the habit of making ridiculous offers, which this business TikToks off of ridiculous offers, or offers, if they're not ridiculous, then you're not going to get substantial deals so that you can wholesale. Okay?
We have a couple, they're students, and they purchased the house. They ended up living in Baltimore. And they didn't really know what they were doing when they bought it. So the lady said, well, how much would you want? And she, instead of waiting for the lady to tell her, she said, $25,000. They had to rehab it. And the lady said, sure. And after they bought the house, spent all this money rehabbing it, she told them later on, she said, well, I was surprised when you said that. I probably would have gave it to you for nothing. Yeah. But they didn't, you know, they didn't ask. So
you can't get what you don't ask for. So please don't do that. And then for the lady, it wouldn't have mattered because she didn't care. She just wanted. Remember, a lot of these people, being that we are problem solvers, a lot of these people simply want to be relieved of the debt. A lot of these people want to be relieved of the liability. They want to be relieved of the hazard. So sometimes it's not about, because I know people walk away sometimes thinking, well, gosh, you know, the old lady, she didn't want nothing. She just wanted to be done with it. And you are here as a problem solver to do deals in order to give people what they're looking for.
you got people out here right now who are excited and looking for somebody to relieve them of $500,000, $600,000 property.
Some of y'all probably even know someone.
They would gladly sign the deed over to you for them to be out. I mean, and some of these were new construction. So some of these are houses that people never even lived in, but they thought they were gonna sell quick, and the market slowed down. So now they're stuck with this $3,500 to $5,000 mortgage, and they wish somebody would come take it off their hands, and they walk right away from it. Follow blink.
And they would have given it to you, and you could have made money on it. That's another strategy. But there's so many ways to make money in real estate.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question. I just wanted to know if you could use the Mayo example and just use it in an example.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I'm sorry, I digressed. Yes, ma'am, I definitely am. I got it. $100,000 example. Write down 100,000. So it's a house that could sell, all fixed up nice and pretty, for $100,000. Thanks for reminding us. 30% below market takes you to $70,000. We're going to use for this example $20,000 in repairs. That takes us down to 50. Keeping up. I told you earlier that I don't do a deal if it's not equating to at least $10,000. So when I do the formula, I put in $10,000. That takes me to where? 40,000. As I told you, that equals Mayo. And I said never pay Mayo. Never. So I'm going to start negotiating in a lot of examples at 10 grand a minimum. Maximum. I'm going to start. So if I land at 30, I'm okay. Because then I'm going to put it back on the market for maybe 45, maybe 50. Okay? But now I've done deals, and students will tell you, we've done deals for less than 10 grand. Actually, I've done a deal for $1,800. And because it was escrow and something else, they cut me a check for $167. Okay? But one thing that I did do, I was able to, and I want to tell you now, because this is where I usually say this, at least I was able to fulfill my obligation with the seller. Now, over 300 and some odd transactions, I defaulted 5 times. 2 of my own, 3 with students. And somebody tell me, Reginald, what did I lose? $1. I lost $1 and some time. But I tell you what, if I keep doing that on a regular basis, what I will really lose is my reputation. And not only that, I don't want to say my soul, but I lose the essence of what I'm doing this for. And that is to help people. See, one of mine, I suggest, and I don't normally say this, but one of my mentors that I've picked up over the years from reading his material and listening to his tapes and going to his seminars is Zig Ziglar. And Zig Ziglar says that if you help enough people get what they want, you will automatically get what you want. But let me tell you something. I've lived that principle since I was 17, because that's when I read his first book. Or when I first read his book. I don't think it was his first book. And it has worked for me countless amount of time. So please don't go out to get over on people, especially a lot of these people who are in desperate need for help. Don't get over them. Don't try to get over them. There have been cases, and I got countless stories, where we've given people money back at closing because they didn't get any money because the title work, they owe taxes and this and that. And me and the students, we give them part of our money. And I'm telling you, do it that way. You cannot be centered on money. Because if you're centered on money, money will elude you. Right?
Yep. In addition to that, when you are dealing with the Mayo formula, like say, for instance, he said he starts off at 15, or starts off at 10, and let's say he actually gets to say 15. Well, because wholesalers are people who provide inventory to rehabbers, landlords, and developers, even if the highest you could take it up to make money would be 55 or 60, you still you still don't wanna do that.
No, you don't.
Because you'll give yourself a great margin in there, but you're not gonna get a whole bunch of people coming to you to get inventory because you gouge them. So you have to treat your buyer just as well as and with as much integrity as you treat that motivated seller, because that's how you eat. You can get contracts, put properties under contract all day long, but guess what? If you don't build a good rapport with that buyer, you're not gonna sell anything.
Right.
So you're not making any money.
That's right.
All right, so you wanna, if you see there's a huge margin, you wanna take out, like say for instance, like I said, if you sell it for 50, if you got it for 15, still you probably don't wanna sell it for more than 25 or 30, at most.
That's right. Leave room.
Leave room, always leave room. Remember, they're buying from you in the first place because you're giving them what? A good deal. So if you're not giving them a good deal, they're gonna find somebody else to buy the property from. So even if there's a big margin in there, don't try to suck it all up by putting it in your pocket, because you might make sure that that's the last money you put in your pocket with that particular buyer.
They won't come back to you. And that's how you want to build your reputation, that you supply good product at great prices. And they'll come back to you. We have some students that they sell to the same person over and over and over again. They don't have a huge buyer's list. They got 10 people. And because they know that they come into them with good, solid inventory at good prices, they sell all the time. Now, any questions about that process? Because these I'm giving you key points. Any questions? So yeah, absolutely, you want to treat these people fair. Don't make it so that you're trying to get over on everybody. And I know that a lot of people have seen the ads. One of our students made $45,732.22 in 34 days or something like that. And he did it. And absolutely, it's solid, we documented it, we have it. But that's not the every time. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that there's people in the room, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that will be okay with $5 grand extra next month. No, not everybody. In some cases, I'll be okay with $2 grand extra. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just to get me a White Castle hamburger.
I mean, and you're wholesaling. You're not spending 3 months rehabbing, another 6 months to sell, fighting with contractors. You're not doing that. You're buying and selling contracts. Your biggest energy is spent talking on the telephone and maybe going to see the property once or twice. I have properties I've never seen before that I've sold. So, you know, you're not spending a whole bunch of energy. $2,500, even $2,000 for talking on the phone a couple of times and meeting two people together, maybe going to a couple of readings. That's not, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It ain't hard, work ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard at all.
So what's your time frame between contract or on the contract is 60 days?
No, you remember, you're giving yourself the most time you can get to market the property.
That's right. So
you're gonna put 60 banking days on the contract you do with the motivated seller. But when you get somebody who wants to buy that contract, you're giving them 2 weeks if you can.
that's right. And
Take
in most
you out.
cases, right. In most cases, that's all you need.
Okay,
Good.
yeah, but my answer was certain, like your basic limit is 60 days, but of course you don't want to give someone 60 days. You're trying to wrap that up
Right.
in a non-pressured environment.
When you say buyer, you mean who the buyer is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, typically in Baltimore, tell me if I'm answering this correct, typically anywhere, a serious investor, because in Baltimore we're dealing with properties usually that we're selling anywhere from $25 to $55 or $65,000. Serious investors can go up underneath their mattress and get that money. So if you got somebody tell you they're gonna take 60 days to close, don't leave them alone.
Right. They're not, right. You want
You want to put
motivated.
some pressure on them. Yeah, you want to put some pressure on them. You get 60 banking days, so there's no pressure on you. But a lot of times when you're talking to the person, the thing you let them know is, hey, look, I'm getting 60 banking. You'll have people ask you for what about 30 days? I'm asking you for 60 banking days because I don't want to tell you any lies. You'll have people come in and tell you they can sell buy your property from you tomorrow and sell it tomorrow, and that's not true. So rather than have us keep coming back and forth to negotiate a new contract, I'm gonna tell you 60 banking days, and I'm gonna keep the job. What was there another piece to it?
No, just the contract. When you contract, you're looking at a contract for 60 days. It costs you $1. That's 60 days, right?
You put in a contract, property under contract with the person who's selling it to you for 60 banking days, and you're giving them $1 earnest money deposit.
And bolting, you know, it costs you $1, you're saying?
No. What I'm saying, in the event that if 60 days, banking days lapse without me finding somebody to match, okay? Now, inevitably, from time to time, you don't find somebody, all right? And this will get to you, Reginald, with some of the disadvantages. But real quick, in the event that I don't find a new buyer to take me out of this contract, then I will default on that contract, right? So what have I lost? $1. Most cases, I can get the seller to give me an extension to get me out. I have students that have properties for 4 or 5 months because of the rapport we build.
Because of the rapport that's built. When you show a person that you care about what's going on with them, I have a gentleman that we just went to settlement on his property, and I put his property in the contract early last summer. We just settled last month, and he forgot, I got busy, the contract lapsed, he called me, I called him, I didn't get back over there, one of the students sent him a letter, she put the property in the contract, we got on the telephone, and I was doing a call with her, so I heard her say, she said, may I speak to Mr. whatever, and I know what it was, I'm just not saying this. So can I speak to Mr. So-and-so, and I said, wait a minute, I said, is this Miss Antoinette? And she said, yeah, and I said, it's Lola, hey girl, how you doing? We went to the house, there was no negotiating. Because of the relationship that I had built with those people last summer, all they wanted to do was sign the contract, and guess what? For $5,000 less than I had put the contract, property in the contract the year before. So when you build that level of rapport, if the default, if you want to call it that, if you don't get a chance to sell the property, if that happens, they don't care. They trust you, and they trust that you care enough about their situation to keep rolling it out. If they got to leave it with you, George, I know has got a contract that property he's had in the contract for a year, because it was a hard property to sell.
Right.
But he's getting ready to go to settlement on it this month.
So this contract is right to buy.
That's right.
You have for 60 days, and it's just earnest money of $1.
That's
Yes.
right.
Bottom line.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Any other questions? Andy. So, I'll go into some of the advantages of this business. Obviously, it's very easy. Yes, ma'am. The business is very easy to start. I think when I did the pre-meeting, I was talking about how easy it is to start. A cell phone. Some people say you need a camera, digital camera. I don't even need that. A cell phone to get started. Very low cost to start, because that's all you need. You are self-employed, so you're doing your own thing when you want to do it. You can start this business part-time. Most of our students start at part-time. We suggest that you do it with 10 hours part-time. We're going to do it, 2 hours a night for 5 days a week. Now, for our students, we give them a letter writing campaign that they send out letters to get the form. That's what we do. I gave you 3 other ways. Also, my students 29 ways to find motivated sellers. But
You said find motivated sellers.
Find motivated sellers, because that's your key. Remember, the marketing piece here is that you have to have your phone ringing with motivated sellers, people that want to sell their houses, so you can do the strategy with. Now, somebody that's got a $350,000 house, they paying their mortgage on time, and everything is rosy. They're not going to let you put their house under contract with $1 earnest money deposit. Am I right? And you know, because you are a regular realtor, they're not going to do that, right? Because the realtor's not going to let you do that. That's right. So that's why you want to designate, or you want to have designated sellers calling you, and you want them to be highly motivated, or medium to highly motivated anyway. Because otherwise, what's the point? They're not going to let you. Most people in general are not going to let you use an earnest money deposit of $1 to tie up their property for 60 banking days. So you need to be centered around focused, people that are focused with motivation. Like the story I told you, my very first person. That lady she was jacked out of her mind with motivation. And right now, our students can tell I used to say that I could teach anybody to be able to tell in 5 minutes if a person is motivated. But I got students now, they'll tell you, they can tell in 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Melanie, am I right? You can pretty much tell. And I'm not saying that you cannot do a deal without a motivated person. I do deals all the time without highly motivated people. But the likely that when you get to the closing table and they're gonna be okay with you, you know, getting your $5, $10, $15, $25,000 wholesale fee, those people, some people will jump out of their skin that you made that much money because they want you to make what? 3%, 6%. That's what they're accustomed to. So yeah, and you know, there's other strategies that you can use if you that I use above $20,000. Simultaneous closings and other strategies like that we, of course, teach our students. Awesome. Anything else?
Oh, well, I guess you're going to like actually how to find the sellers. And then the next thing is how to find buyers.
Well, no, I did that.
Know how to find a seller.
Yeah, I told you that. The way you find the sellers is 3 P's, right? Okay, 3 P's, signs on poles,
Right?
newspaper, the classifieds, right? We buy houses and a number, or penny saver. We buy, those are all the 3.
That would just be it.
I mean, now, we give our students 29 other ways, but that's enough to get started. Now, remember, that's how I got my very, very, very first deal.
And that's what most of the people are doing. That's why you see the We Buy Houses signs out there on the streets, because that's what most people are doing.
And it works. Do you see those signs often? The We Buy Houses? Huh?
I see them.
Yeah. Huh? Everywhere. I see them everywhere. I mean, some of mine are up. Edit that. This is a note to the editor. Edit that out.
I mean, and he also said how you get rid of them. You go to the rears. Remember they were saying, we were talking about the quick pitch. When you go up to the front of the room and say, this is what I have, and we were talking about mingling and mixing and getting to know people, telling everybody what you do, get cards, set up, go to the investment clubs and pass them on. That's one of the ways to get rid of them. That's one of the best ways. It's one of the ways I wish I could beat into most of the students to get rid of their properties. We give you other ways, and a lot of times people choose the easier way.
Right, and that's because, I mean, for our students, we have a database that I've been accumulating, and now we teach them how to accumulate a database of buyers, excuse me. And so they go that easy route, but when the market gets tight, you gotta go with the, you gotta modify your strategy. You know, but some of our students are a little bit spoiled because we give them some of the best ways. Now here, I'll give you another way. Craigslist. You all right with something? Okay. Craigslist to get rid of your properties. There's a couple other ways too. You can use Craigslist to get rid of your properties. Last advantage, control. See, I love this business because I'm in control. I gotta tell you, if I choose to, I'm starting to get up earlier. Today I got up at 7:30 because I just got other stuff I want to get done. But until yesterday, I was getting up at 9 o'clock almost daily.
I mean, it is to be able to deal with financial freedom is being able to designate when you do what you do.
Yeah.
Like we had gotten something from Costco, and I went in there yesterday afternoon. I mean, the line was forever. I wanted to return it, and I stood there and I looked at it and said, "What am I doing this for? I don't gotta get up and be at nobody's job in the morning. It's not like I gotta stay somewhere until 6 o'clock. Why not just come during the day when everybody else
That works.
is at work?"
That's right.
You know, so, and you know, a lot of times, and then we left and we actually said, thank you, God, for something that simple, but it's not that simple, because it applies to everything else too. No, I don't have to go stand in the grocery store to buy the groceries when everybody get off work. I go buy the groceries in the middle of the day. Anything that you want to do, when you schedule your own day, I mean, we're working, but you're working on your time. You're creating your own schedule. You're determining if it snows 2 feet of snow outside, we don't have anywhere we have to be. We know that the library will cancel any presentations that's going on, so we get to sit and look at the snowflakes accumulate in the trees in the backyard. You know, and I'm not saying that to impress you, rather to impress upon you the importance of being able to have the wherewithal. And so for some people, like Haywood was saying, you don't need $1 million to change that for you. You know, I used to be in a business called Prepaid Legal Services, and we used to always say, what would an extra $1,500 do in your life extra every month? Could it change a couple of addresses? Could it change a couple of rides? Could it increase the possibility of some people going to college that maybe couldn't go to college before? What does that do for you? You know, could it bring some private duty nursing care for a parent? What could that do for your life? So yeah, it's about time freedom. That's what I get excited.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can achieve it. And the thing about, and we'll look to the editor to cut this out too, but our people, we're not accustomed to doing real business. Sometimes, I mean, I hear people talking about, well, I'm going to go get the fresh cut CD, DVD, and I'm going to make 20 copies, and I'm going to go sell it. That's not business. And we have a tendency to think that that's real business, and that we can't get into real business. Well, we can. When you're with somebody that's qualified and is going to give you full access to help you along, that's already paved the way before you. Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki speaks to that. If you want to do something, get somebody that's done it before you. It's going to hold your hand through the process. Now, your job is to just make sure you qualify the people to get the best. It's going to give it to you. So make sure that that's what you're doing. So the disadvantages, this is not passive income. Passive income is when you have a rental unit and somebody's paying your above and beyond your mortgage amount, and you get your cushion and you get your money every month, 4 unit, 5 unit, or whatever. Okay, this is not that. This wholesaling business is something that you got to get out and go hunt and work for every month. Just like I said. All right, so you got to do your marketing, and you got to get on the phone and make the call, and you got to go make it happen. This is not just going to happen when you're laying in the bed. I don't want anybody to get the impression that I'm telling you this is magic money. It is not. Okay, you got to work for it. But the whole idea is to set yourself up so you're doing this so that you can get to having your own units and all that other kind of stuff down the road. All right. Sometimes, as we went over, you can't sell the property. So if you can't sell the property, what do you lose? We're talking about the $1. Okay. But then, if you continue to do that, obviously, you lose your reputation. So that's not what you're trying to do either. You want to try and make these properties go away. So you're taking care of these people. Okay, I want to bring that home. Because there are investors out there that are not doing this the right way and not ethical. If you don't want regulation, and right now there is no regulation, you don't need a license, you don't need to go downtown, you don't need to tell anybody what you're doing. But I'm telling you now, do it with high level of morals. All right? And matter of fact, I just was reading a book the other day, and they say that people that make over $250,000 a year, clockwork, have a high level of morality. All right? Now, of course, I'm not talking about boys on the street. Some of them may have high morals or not, I don't know. I'm telling you, if you want to do this, you do it with a high level of morality. Sometimes there's a changing market. We just came out of one, and the market is continuing to change. So you need to make sure that you keep your finger on the pulse. And I tell people, in a couple of pages down here, I tell people, be reading the financial news. Be watching the financial channels. I'm not talking about the sports channel. I'll get into that a little later. But be watching the market and what's going on. Because typically when there's a bad market like we're in now, it's the opportunity. Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki and a lot of the big boys and the players are making bazillions right now because this is the time to do it. Off of the, and I hate to say it, but off of the backs of misfortunes or people's not paying attention to what they're doing. So this is the perfect time to be making money. The perfect time. And you must learn the market. I really said that. And you should be learning the market. What's going on? Go to the investment club. Hobnob with people like us. What do they say? If you hang around 9 broke people, you're likely to be the 10th one. So if you want to get with somebody, get with the rich people. Get with some cats that you know that are making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year, and they know what they're doing with their money. They're not worrying about getting in glitzy cars and all that old nonsense. They don't take your money and work your money to make money. See, we have a habit of, once again, buying all the glitzy stuff and tying our money up in nonsense and not taking our money to where you can work your money to make more money. You know, I mean, one time we used to tell a story about a guy that we met that had a few houses, actually had thousands of properties. One of the students found it. But when we went to meet this guy at 7:30 in the morning, he literally had mustard on his shirt. Now, to have mustard on your shirt at 7:30 in the morning, he said he got there at 6:30. That means that that's the shirt from when? Yesterday. All right? This guy owned a bank downstairs. He rides a Honda Accord, 3 years old. He don't care that it's got the 22s on. See, we have a very serious problem. Stop.
No.
Of putting our money in places where we think we're impressing people. And nobody's impressed with us jerking our money and not putting it in a place. They know that we are consumer-based people. They know it. So take your money and work it. Get in something.
What did we spend this year? Last year, 2007, was it 800 billion?
Actually, we were told 400 billion, we as a people. And then we investigated, we found out that we spent 800 billion. And then the new number came out, right? The latest number. We spend as a people over $1 trillion on doodads. Nonsense. Because we think that a fly car, nobody's impressed because it don't do nothing and they know it doesn't do anything. You can take half of whatever you use and take the money, put it somewhere. You can take $300 a month, put it away, and in 20 years, you'll be over $1 million.
I mean, we're not talking, when I say people, I'm talking about just human beings, I'm talking about African Americans.
Oh, yeah, y'all got it,
We're
right?
spending $40 billion a year on automobiles, $50 billion a year on clothes, not in our community, outside of our community, which is why our communities are depraved, because we're not circulating the money. Everybody else circulates their money within their community, because that's how you keep your community rich, that's how you build generational wealth. But we don't do that. We give it to everybody else.
Right.
We'd rather go buy something from, I'm not gonna call no nationality, but from some other folks, rather than come and buy it from ourselves. We look at each other, and because we're the same color, we make a determination that that business probably ain't legitimate because they look like me. There's a whole lot of psychology that goes behind that. I'm not gonna get into, but I mean, that's what we're doing until we change our mindset. See, everything is about mindset. I mean, I used to do a piece in the beginning of our presentations about minding your business and really paying attention to where your head is at and getting it in the right place. Because I can teach you all day long till you're blue in the face about real estate investing, but you're not going to receive it, you're not going to internalize it, you're not going to learn it until you make a decision that you're trying to go forward and do some different things with your life. The gentleman came in earlier, he signed up and he ran out. He's never seen us before. He's never been to a presentation. He went to a website, he talked to Haywood for about 15, 20 minutes on his cell phone. He knows what he wants. He's not a wealthy man, but he travels all over the world, right? So he was telling us, enjoys his life, has a 9-to-5 job, and he understands the importance of having freedom of time. Now he wants the financial standing to go along with it. You understand? So because he knows, he's knowledgeable, he has the mindset that tells him, just because I'm here doesn't mean that I can't broaden my horizon. And that's what he's coming.
And I bet you his car's not no E320 either.
He don't care nothing about cars.
Right. But anyway, I'm not gonna belabor that point. But stop waiting. Trust me, stop wasting your money on nonsense. Put it and work it and let your money work. Get into something that can be your own and not somebody else's. Try your best to make sure that the building that you go to work eventually has your name on it. Other than that, you're not working towards anything substantial. Some quick getting started tips. My favorite one, this is one that I learned a long time ago, and I did it. I've had probably at least 12 different mentors over my lifetime, not including the ones that I had as a child. And I was fortunate that when I was 17, I was told to read a few books, and they set me up. All right, and get into one. Get a mentor, get a coach. Get somebody that's got way more than you. Way more than you. To sit at their feet and listen and learn. All right? You want to do that. Educate yourself. Get into the books and the tapes and CDs and DVDs. as often as you can. Here's a book to read. You gotta read this book if you want to do anything substantial for yourself. You gotta read Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. You must read that book. It's an absolute must. I read this book when I was 21. I probably read it over 30 times now. Right, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read this book and read it soon. Especially this is the early part of the year, please. Another book that you have to read. You've got to get it soon. See, again, note to the editor. But anyway, the point is for us, we don't know how to communicate and do business and talk. So get this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's gotta be books that you read. And in addition to that, just get into Brian Tracy. He's got one that's called Goals. And you gotta set goals. You must set goals. And you must write them down. And they must be big. And they must be visible. But Brian Tracy's book, Goals. And Jim Rohn.
ROHN.
ROHN. Gotta get this stuff in you. Alright? To change our mindsets. We are off on a tangent with complete nonsense. And like Lola says, we can get into the psychology of why we do that, but that's not important right now. Start reading. Please spend way more time reading and listening to educational materials that's going to help you rather than running home, plopping down and watching TV. And I know it's stressful out there. I know it is. So yeah, listen to tapes and CDs. And once again, that's 5. When I say get a mentor again.
And let me say, and on your way to, get a mentor and get a coach, and just surround yourself on a regular basis by people who are doing the type of stuff that you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have good things and you want to invest in real estate and you want to be a minister, you can't hang around folks getting high all weekend. I'm not saying y'all do. I'm just saying that's a different behavior. You understand? If you want to hang around people who can run with you, like a lot of people a lot of people who used to be my friends and are still people that I love, I don't see and I don't talk to very often. I had a girlfriend of mine say to me, she quickly became not my friend, but she made a comment. She said, "Yo, it's stinky. You always trying to find something to do. Don't you just go home? You want to go get your nails done? No fool. I don't have no more time and no more money to give the Asian lady. It's fine if you do that." But the deal is that if I got to choose, and for a long time I was a single parent, so if you have to choose between whether or not I chose for a long time over doing all that fancy stuff to put my money in to put my son in school. I never would have him in a public school. It was important to me that he went to a private school. So you have to make choices about what's most important for yourself. And everybody is not always going to go along with your party. The deal is, though, that everybody don't deserve a front row seat to the play that's your life. Some folks need to be way back up there in the nosebleed seat, so you can't even see they there.
That's right. So again, to use that strategy, that thing I said, 9 broke people and you hanging out, you're gonna be that one. If you want to be hanging out with 9 $100,000 cats or millionaires, and now Lola and I's goal is to hang out with multi-millionaires. That's where I want my thinking at. I'm not hanging out with, I'm not gonna do it. I see my friends and my people, hey, what's up? And I was fortunate that I was in the carpet, so I knew a lot of cats that made $200,000-300,000 a year. But then I got old, you need to go to the next level. You gotta keep seeking higher ground. Make big goals, I said that. Write them down and put target dates on them, right? Make them big. And make sure you get an approachable mentor. Don't even overthink this process that I gave you today. Now, did I complete what to do? To do this strategy that I'm telling you to do? Go up to Baltimore, get lost, even if you don't have the money to do the 3 Ps. Go up to Baltimore, get lost, get an address, take it to SDAT, send them a letter, call them if you want to, build rapport, ask them the ultimate question, right? You know what that is, right? Get a contract, and their contracts in these books that you can be reading at the bookstore. Take that contract to an investment club, Craigslist, sell that contract, don't forget to mark it up, all right? I ain't gotta tell y'all that, right? Mark it up, all right? And then sell it. Make sure for the team that you need, right? Who's on your team? You need 2 people. An agent, real estate agent, for your comps, all right? So you know where you're going, so you can use the mail formula. And you need a good title company, all right? That'll do the work. So you can send the paperwork in to do the title work, all right? Make sure the title company will do what is called an assignment contract for you, or, all right, for that, just stay right there for that, right?